Well, hello. I'm Tamara, and welcome to Tam Psych Advice. So, what makes a celebrity a celebrity? There's usually something different. It's their MBTI plus something else. And I was recently working with some kids, some really tough kids, and I could see something unique and interesting about them. And I asked them, "Do you guys want to be famous someday?" "How did you know?" "Yes, I want to be famous, definitely." And I mean, these kids, they struggle in school, they struggle with behavior, they have a tough life, they live in poverty, there's a lot going on, and yet they have this dream, a fantasy of being celebrities, and there's definitely something unique going on with them. So that's their drive in life. And I think they've got a lot of work to do. But that aside, I want to talk about some celebrities today and what MBTI types I think that they are. And you can tell me if you disagree, because this is one of those videos I'm not taking it down. I'm just going to tell you straight up. There have been videos that I've taken down. I'm not taking down this one. So if you don't agree with me, tell me what type you think they are. That's the only thing I ask. What type do you think they are? If you don't think they're the type I say, then tell me which type you think they are. And I'm totally cool with that, I think. Now, I might come back and tell you why I disagree with you, but I still think you have the right to tell me if you think it's a type other than the one that I said. So, silly question. Do you think that celebrities have MBTIs? We treat them like they're out of this world fabulous as compared to you and me. But the truth is, they have a personality type like you and I do. So what makes them stand out and excel to heights that most of us will never ever reach? Some of them are laced with personality disorders like BPD, which is borderline personality disorder, or narcissism, and that makes them fight for center stage. Some of them were spoiled rotten as children with no rules and no boundaries, and so they were able to create and use their imaginations and swing from the chandeliers, literally. And others of them may have suffered from abuse and neglect. And then there are a great deal of other celebrities that are just naturally talented, gifted, and they enjoy the arts or music or singing. So there are a lot of celebrities that are just plain talented, and they have a team around them to elevate them and take them to new heights. So starved are some of them, though, to be shined on brightly or to receive accolades that we receive so easily as children. Some of their basic needs weren't met, so they fight for it in a way that we just don't need to. And some of them don't have personality disorders at all. They're simply highly intelligent when it comes to their talents and gifts, and we can all be awed, inspired, and wowed by what they can do. Some of them have developed a personality on top of their baseline MBTI personality that turbos their MBTI or colors it in an extraordinary way. Do you feel like this is you? Even if you're not a celebrity, do you feel like you sort of have this turbo or uniqueness, charge on top of your personality? Here's where you can argue with me and we can agree to disagree. Even some of the best MBTIers can type people wrong. I remember writing to David Kiersey, and we both agreed that one of his colleagues was incorrect on how they typed a couple of celebrities. I released a video once, and I took it down quickly because I made an entire video that Kim Kardashian was an INFJ. People were flaming mad at me. No one wanted to be her MBTI type, and ironically, no one in the comments agreed on what she was either. They were coming up with all kinds of things. What's going on with her MBTI that makes her so polarizing? She seems sweet on interviews, but is there narcissism coloring who she is that makes some people fight not to be like her? Her intense desire to be famous and in the limelight since she was little, that insatiable need to be overwhelmingly busy, like I write about in my book, The Workplace Narcissist, those are things that make it questionable that there's something else going on in her personality. On top of having tons of business deals, she's raising 4 young children while working to become a lawyer. It's a noble thing, and it's following in her father's footstep, but most of us would fall completely apart juggling that many tasks, projects, and the like, money or not. But there's a lane of narcissists who crave that sort of thing. When her sister Courtney stated she wanted to slow things down and focus on raising her children, Kim was completely turned off by it and frowned upon her work ethic, which is what I talk about in my book. How about Bruno Mars? Do you think he's an ESTP like I do? He loves old school throwback music and is focused on making everyone have a good time. He creates stories in his lyrics like good storytelling ESTPs do, and even uses humor. ESTPs want to have fun and party, and that's what he does with his music. His sensor perceiver preferences give him the stamina and patience to rehearse the same performance over and over and over again. I'm talking hundreds and thousands of times, to the chagrin of his bandmates, to push a song to absolute out of this world perfection. Some SPs get bored quickly, but he uses his preferences to build stamina and create something great. ESTPs can be very passionate when it comes to the senses and the external world, soaking up and relishing experiences that life has to offer. Okay, so here's someone else you can fight me on. I think Beyonce is an ISFP and often wondered if most men prefer ISFPs. So popular is Beyonce and often touted as a favorite. ISFPs are an intense version of an ESFP because they go deeply inward and project outwardly on the stage, creating an intense performance or experience, and they're really known as performers. They are driven by competition. I believe she's very talented. She can sing and dance, but so can lots of other folks. So what's different about her? I think it's her competitiveness. Beyonce is extremely competitive, and it drives her forward. Once she created an album in very little time, and all the people around her hated it. I hated it too, but her competitiveness and determination to get her songs in heavy rotation on the radio made me love them, and I still listen to those songs today. She performed them with such high energy that you fell in love with them. Her competitiveness made her outshine those who dropped albums at the same time. SPs, which is sensor perceivers, also are driven off of adrenaline rushes that surges and shimmies down their spine. Now, there's one thing about her personality that can be a little tricky, and this is where people kind of outshine and become celebrities, but on stage, extroversion, off stage, introvert. There are some types that thrive off of extroverted energy, like the ENTP. Sometimes they're very quiet in one-on-one settings because they don't have that extroverted energy around them that boosts them forward. But I think it's the opposite with Beyonce. I think when she goes on stage, she lights up and she projects lots of extroverted energy, but off the stage, I think she comes back to herself and she's quiet and she doesn't have much to say. She's shy and can hardly find the words in interviews, but something clicks when she gets on that stage. That's why she has an alter ego on stage called Sasha Fierce, where she explodes like a cat who's just eaten a bag of catnip, flying all over the place, dancing, singing, and energizing the crowd. All right, so here's a bonus celebrity that I wanted to throw out because it's somebody that I think everybody knows, and that is Prince. Feel free to argue with me again if you disagree. Just please tell me why you think Prince is not an INTP, because I do. I remember seeing him and Michael Jackson on stage, and they were two of the biggest icons probably to have ever lived. Of course, Elvis too. And they were the shyest of the shyest shy. They couldn't even fake their introversion. I thought both were NFs, Michael an INFJ, his sister Janet an INFP, but nowadays I think Prince was an INTP and Enneagram 4, which is what made him unique and special. But at the core, he had a toughness in his personality, a no-nonsense NT temperament type thing behind the scenes that Michael Jackson just didn't have. Both Michael and Prince are tenacious and aggressive like no other on stage, outperforming everyone. But Prince was known for being extremely difficult to work with, demanding perfection and even belittling those who worked with him, crushing their ego to the ground. The strength in the temperament is INTP, but he is also known by some experts to be a narcissist. In fact, he is a classic workaholic narcissist that I write about in my book, The Workplace NaRCISSiST by Tamara Zyon on Amazon, and with an overwhelming need to work endlessly. That was him. Although he was introverted after his untimely death, many celebrities discovered they were not his only secret friend, but he'd made many friends in the industry. He also shows the capabilities of INTPs when they're put their minds to doing something, they can take things to the next level. So what do you think? Do you think I'm like spot on? Or do you think, golly, that was terrible? Let me know in the comments. I will put the link to some of my playlists in the description box because I have a ton of videos on INFJs, ISFPs as well. And if you want to learn about them in a unique way, definitely check out my videos. They're like none other. And I'll also put the link in the description box for my book, The Workplace NaRCISSiST, and also Flip the Script on Love by Tamara Zyon on Amazon. I think both of those will help you understand people better. And if you're curious about some celebrities and why they have deep, dark lives, it's probably because they may be narcissistic. So check out my book. It will explain everything to you. Until the next time, my friends, thanks for hanging out with me. And let me know if there are any other celebrities that you want me to analyze. Bye.